I don't think that the fact that the printing presses may be closing, or that that there's fewer printing presses, or that it costs more to print is as big a factor as just changing reading habits. And those habits tend to be, like I say, more metro and suburban than rural. And I think the rural newspapers tend to be, readers that are going to stick with the print copy for a long, long time. But an interesting survey I saw, I don't know, about 2 months ago, it was tracking a newspaper, a daily newspaper, I think it might have been in Finland, that had stopped printing and went internet only. And they were looking at the readership of that newspaper 2 years later. And so you got the Seattle Post-Intelligencer that's done the same thing. I think the Christian Science Monitor. What happens to them down the road? Well, what that survey found, and I thought this was very interesting, it found that those newspapers that continued to print basically had an anchor to the local market. And as long as they have that anchor, then they continue to have the readership. But 2 years from now, without that anchor, if you're just doing online news, which you can get anywhere, you sort of lose the anchor. And so a lot of those readers basically went adrift. And if they found another source, then, and especially if you're talking free versus free, gosh, it's hard to keep that reader. And so I think what's going to happen with, the daily markets like the Austin American-Statesman, they're going to have to really move to some way of anchoring their readers into the Austin market, and that's going to be through providing local news, and then get them to the point where they're so addicted to it that they'll be willing to pay for the content. It's just the nature of how people are. And so that's where we've got to get as an industry, is get back to providing online content that is so valuable that people will pay to get it.